Shalom. You missed some good breakdowns in Ezekiel. All right, I'm probably about to start in like a minute or two. Shalom, just in time. About to start. All right, Hosea 1. The word of Yah, the king of Hosea, son of Beri, in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, the kings of Judah, and in the days of Jeroboam, son of Joash, king of Yeshurun. Yeshurun. The initial speech of Yah with Hosea. Yah said to Hosea, Go take unto yourself a wife of harlotry, and beget children of harlotry. For the land is straying completely from following Yah. So he went and took Gomer, daughter of Diblaim, and she conceived and bore him a son. Yahweh said to him, Call his name Jezreel, for in a short while I will avenge the blood of Jezreel upon the house of Jehu, and I will terminate the monarchy of the house of Yasharal. It will happen on that day that I will break the bow of Yasharal in the valley of Jezreel. She conceived again and bore a daughter. And Elohim said to him, Call her name Lo-Ruhama, Lo-Ruhama, not, means not pitied. For I will no longer pity the house of Yasharal, that I should show them forbearance. But upon the house of Judah I will have mercy, and I will save them through Yahweh, the Elohim. I will not save them with bow, with sword, with warfare, with steeds, or with riders. She weaned Lo-Ruhama, and she conceived and bore a son. Elohim said, Call his name Lo-Ami, not my people, for you are not my people, and I will not be yours. Yet the number of the children of Yasharal will be like the sand of the sea, which can neither be measured nor counted. And it will happen that in the place of their exile, where it was said to them, You are not my people, it will be said to them, Children of the living Elohim. The children of Judah and the children of Yesharah will be assembled together, and they will appoint for themselves one head, and ascend from the land. For the day of Jezreel is great. Say to your brothers, Ami, which means my people, and your sisters, Ruhama, which means pity. Contend with your mother, contend, for she is not my wife, and I am not her husband. And have her remove her harlotries from her face, and her adulteries from between her breasts, lest I strip her bare, and stand her as on the day she was born, and make her like a wilderness, and render her like a parched land, and cause her to die of thirst. And upon her children I will not have mercy, for they are children of harlotry, for their mother has committed harlotry. She who conceived them has shamed herself, for she said, I will go after my paramours, those who provide my bread, my water, my wool and my linen, my oil and my drink. Therefore, behold, I will hedge your way with thorns, and I will hem her in with a fence, and she will not find her paths. And she will pursue her paramours, but not reach them. She will seek them, but not find them. Then she will say, I will go and return to my first husband, for it was better for me than it is now. For she did not realize that it was I who gave her the grain, and the wine, and the oil. I lavished silver and gold upon her, but they used it for the Baal. Shalom City. We're in chapter 2 of Hosea, about to hit verse 11. Therefore I will return and take my grain in its time, and my wine in its season, and I will remove my wool and my linen that I gave her to cover her nakedness. And now I will reveal her repulsiveness before the eyes of her paramours, and no man will save her from my hand. I will terminate her every rejoicing, her festival, her new moon, and her Shabbat, and her every appointed season. I will lay waste her vine and her fig tree, about which she said, they are a payment for me that my paramours have given me. Bad y'all. But she said, they are a payment for me that my paramours have given me, and I will make them like a forest, and the beasts of the field will devour them. And I will repay her for all the days of the Baalim, to which she burns incense, and she adorned herself with her earrings and her jewelry, and followed after her paramours. But me she forgot, the word of Yahweh. Therefore, behold, I will seduce her, and I will lead her to the desert, and I will speak to her heart, and I will give to her her vineyards from there, and make the valley of Achor into a portal of hope. She will dwell there as in the days of her youth, and on the day of her ascent from the land of Egypt. And it shall be on that day, the word of Yah, that you will call me Ishi, which means my husband, and you will no longer call me Bali, which means my master. I will remove the names of the Baalim from her mouth, and they will not be mentioned again by their name. And I will seal a covenant for them on that day with the beast of the field, and the bird of the heavens, and the creeping thing on the ground. I will banish bow and sword and warfare from the land, and I will lay them down in safety. I will betroth you to me forever, and I will betroth you to me with righteousness, with justice, with kindness, and with mercy. And I will betroth you to me with fidelity, and you will know Yah. And it shall be on that day that I will respond. The word of Yah, I will respond to the heavens, and they will respond to the earth. And the earth will respond with the grain and the wine and the oil, and they will respond to Jezreel. I will sow her for myself in the land, and I will pity Lo Ruhama, and I will say to Loami, you are Ami, my people. And he will say, you are my Elohim. Chapter 3. Yah said to me, go again, love a woman who was beloved of her companion, yet an adulteress, like Yah's love for the children of Yasharal. Yet they turn to the gods of others and cherish goblets of grape wine. So I acquired her for myself for 15 pieces of silver and a comer of barley and a lesek of barley. And I said to her, wait for me for many days. Do not act a harlot and do not marry another man. And so will I be faithful to you. For many days the children of Yasharal will sit with no king, no officer, no sacrifice, no pillar, and no ephod or teraphim. Afterward the children of Yasharal will return and seek out Yah their Elohim, and Dawid their king, and they will tremble for Yah and for his goodness in the end of days. Chapter 4. Hear the words of Yah, O children of Yasharal, for Yahweh has a grievance with the inhabitants of the land. For there is no truth nor kindness nor knowledge of Elohim in the land. Rather swearing, lying, murdering, robbing, and adultery. They have breached standards, and blood reaches more blood. Therefore the land will be destroyed, and all who dwell in it will be enfeebled, along with the beasts of the field, and the birds of the heavens, and even the fish of the sea will be annihilated. Indeed you say, let no one contend, let no one reprimand. Yet your people contends with the Kohen. You will stumble by day, and the false prophet who is with you will also stumble, as if by night, and I will silence your mother. My people have been eliminated for lack of knowledge, for you have spurned knowledge, and I will spurn you from serving me. And as you have forgotten the Torah of your Elohim, I too will forget your children. As much as they have increased, so have they sinned against me. Therefore, I will exchange their honor for disgrace. The sin offerings of my people they consume, and for their iniquities his soul yearns. So it shall be, like people, like Kohen, I will visit his ways upon him, and I will requite him for his deeds. They will eat but not be sated. They will be promiscuous but will not proliferate, for they have abandoned Yah, ceasing to keep his ways. Harlotry and wine and fresh wine capture the heart. My people ask of his wood, and its rod relates to it. For a spirit of harlotry has misled them, and they have strayed from under their Elohim. They slaughter sacrifices upon the mountaintops, and they burn incense upon the hills, under oak and poplar and elm, for their shade is good. Therefore your daughters commit harlotry, and your daughters-in-law commit adultery. I will not punish your daughters when they commit harlotry, nor your daughters-in-law when they commit adultery. For the men are secluded with harlots and sacrifice with prostitutes, and the people that does not understand will stumble. If you have turned astray, O Yasharal, let Judah not become guilty. Do not come to Gilgal, do not ascend to Bethaven, and do not swear falsely, saying, as Yah lives. For Yasharal has strayed like a wayward cow. Now Yah will graze them like a lamb on the broad range. Ephraim is attached to his idols. Let him be. Their adulterous drinking orgies have become foreign to me. Her rulers love to invite disgrace. The wind has bound her by her wings. They will be ashamed of their sacrifices. Chapter 5. Hear this, O Kohanim. Hearken, O house of Yasharal, O royal house. Give ear, for the judgment is yours. You have been a snare to Mizpah, and a net extended over Tabor. By preventing the slaughter of offerings, the deviants deepened iniquity, and I castigate them all. I knew Ephraim, and Yasharal was not hidden from me. For now you have committed harlotry. Ephraim, Yasharal has been defiled. They will not abandon their deeds to return to their Elohim, for a spirit of harlotries is in their midst, and Yah they do not know. The pride of Yasharal will be humbled before him, and Yasharal and Ephraim will stumble over their iniquity, and Judah too will stumble with them. With their sheep and with their cattle, they will go to seek Yah, but they will not find him. He has withdrawn from them. They betrayed Yah, for they begot alien children. Now a month, now a month will devour them with their portions. Sound a shofar in Gibeah, a trumpet in Ramah. Shout in Bethaven. The enemy is coming after you, Benjamin. Ephraim will be bewildered on the day of rebuke. Among the tribes of Yasharal I made the truth known. The officers of Judah were like those who shift the boundaries. Upon them I will pour out my wrath like water. Ephraim is plundered, shattered by his judgment, for he has willingly followed after their bidding. I will be like a moth to Ephraim, like a rot to the house of Judah. Ephraim saw his ailment and Judah his wound. And Ephraim went to Assyria, and Judah sent tribute to the king of Jareb. But he will not be able to cure you, nor heal your wound. For I am like a lion to Ephraim, and like a lion's whelp to the house of Judah. As for me I will mangle, and I will go. I will carry off, and no one will rescue. I will go, I will return to my place until they will acknowledge their guilt and seek my face. In their distress they will seek me. They will say, Come, let us return to Yah, for he has mangled us, and he will heal us. He has smitten, and he will bandage us. He will heal us after 2 days. On the third day he will raise us up, and we will live before him. Let us know, let us strive to know Yah, like the dawn whose emergence is certain. Then he will come to us like the rain, like the late rain that satiates the earth. Bro, it's sad that they had to go so far to get punished like that to turn back to him, man. Is it y'all just turning back to him because y'all getting punished. Anyway, verse 4. What can I do for you, Ephraim? What can I do for you, Judah? When your kindness is like a morning cloud and like the dew that departs in early morning, because I have made my words clear cut through the prophets. Clear cut. I have slain the sinners through the utterances of my mouth. Can your judgment be favorable as the light? For I desire kindness, not sacrifice, and knowledge of Elohim more than burnt offerings. But they, like Adam, transgressed the covenant. There they betrayed me. Gilead is a city of evildoers, of those who waylay for blood, like gangs awaiting a man to rob. A band of priests murders on the road with one will, for they devise a plot. In the house of Yasharal I have seen a disgrace. The harlotry of Ephraim is there. Yasharal has been defiled. Judah too has planted a branch of yours. When I sought to return the captivity of my people, when I would have healed Yasharal, the iniquity of Ephraim became revealed, along with the evils of Samaria, for they have wrought falsehood. A thief comes, a gang spreads out outside. They do not say in their hearts that I remember all their evils. Now their deeds have surrounded them. They were before my face. With their evil they gladdened the king, and with their falsehood officers. They are all adulterers, their passions burning like an oven fired by a baker. The inciter rests from the kneading of the dough until it's leavening. On the day of our king, the officers became ill from the heat of wine, and he withdrew his hand to be with scoffers. For they have prepared their heart with their ambush plot like an oven. All night their baker sleeps, and in the morning he burns like a blazing fire. They have all become heated like an oven, and they have devoured their judges. All their kings have fallen. Yet no one among them calls out to me. Shalom face. We're right about to be on chapter 8. Oh, no, never mind, never mind. Oh, chapter 7, verse 8. Ephraim will be intermingled with the nations. Ephraim was like a cake that was not turned over. That means he's Puerto Rican, y'all. No, I'm just bullshitting. Strangers have consumed his strength, but he did not know. Also, old age was cast upon him, but he did not know. The glory of Yasharal was humbled before him, but they did not turn back to Yah their Elohim, and they did not seek him despite all this. Ephraim was like a foolish dove with no understanding. They have called out to Egypt. They have gone to Assyria. When they go, I will spread my net over them. I will bring them down like the birds of the sky. I will afflict them, as has been heard by their congregation. Woe to them, for they have moved away from me. plunder upon them, for they have rebelled against me. I would redeem them, but they have spoken lies about me. They did not cry out to me in their hearts when they wailed on their beds. They gathered together for grain and wine, yet they turned away from me. As for me, I afflicted them. I strengthened their arms, but they think evil of me. They turn, but not to the one above. They are like a deceptive bow. Their officers will fall by the sword because of the fury of their tongues. This was their derision in the land of Egypt. Chapter 8. To your palate put a shofar. The enemy swoops like an eagle upon the temple of Yah, because they have violated my covenant, and they have rebelled against my Torah. To me, Yasharal should cry out. My Elohim will acknowledge you. Yasharal has forsaken the benevolent one, so the enemy will pursue him. They enthroned kings, but not from me. They ordained officers, but I did not know. From their silver and gold they made themselves idols, for it to be eliminated. Your calf has forsaken you, Samaria. My anger burns against them. How long would they be incapable of cleansing? For it is from Yasharal a craftsman made it, and it is not a god, for the calf of Samaria will be splinters. For they sow wind, and they will reap a tempest. It has no standing stalks, a sprout that will produce no flower. And it should somehow, and if it should somehow produce, strangers will swallow it. Yasharal has been swallowed up. Now they have become among the nations like a useless vessel, for they ascended to Assyria like a wild donkey on its own. Ephraim has paid tribute for friendship, although they paid tribute to the nations. Now I will gather them, but first they will be humbled somewhat by the burden of the king and officers. For Ephraim has increased the number of altars to sin, even though he had altars to sin. I wrote for them the great principles of my Torah, but they were regarded as something alien. The sacrifices for my burnt offerings let them slaughter for meat and let them eat. Yahweh does not desire them. Now he will remember their iniquity and punish their sins, and they will return to Egypt. Yasharal has forgotten his maker, and he has built temples. And Judah has proliferated fortified cities. I will send a fire into his cities, and it will consume his palaces. Chapter 9. Rejoice not, Yasharal, like the exaltation of the peoples, for you have strayed from your Elohim. You have loved a harlot's fee on all that threshing floors of grain. The threshing floor and wine pit will not provide food for them, and wine will betray them. They will not dwell in the land of Yah, but Ephraim will return to Egypt and eat unclean food in Assyria. They should not pour out wine libations to Yah, for they will not be pleasing to him. Their sacrifices will be to them like the bread of mourners, of which all who partake are defiled. Rather let their bread be for themselves, let it not come to the temple of Yah. What will you do on the appointed day and on the day of Yah's feast? For behold, they have gone away because of plunder. Egypt will gather them in. Moth will bury them. As for the treasure houses of their silver, thistles will inherit them. Briars will grow in their tents. The days of punishment have come. The days of requital have come. Let Yasharal know. The false prophet is a fool. The man of spirit is mad. Because of the abundance of your iniquity, the enmity is great. The prophet of Ephraim is with my Elohim. The prophet is a net that ensnares him in all his ways, and who causes enmity in the house of his Elohim. They deepened, they corrupted themselves as in the days of Gibeah. He will remember their iniquity, he will punish their sins. I found Yasharal like grapes in the desert, like a ripe fruit on a fig tree in its beginning did I view your fathers. But they came to Baal Peor and dedicated themselves to shamefulness, and they became loathsome by their love. As for Ephraim, their honor will fly away like a bird, perishing from birth, or from the womb, or from conception. For even if they rear their children, I will bereave them before manhood. For woe is to them, as well as when I turn away from them. Ephraim is as I saw Tyre, and planted in his dwelling place. But Ephraim will seek to take his children out to the slayer. Give them, Yah, what you will give. Give them a bereaving womb and shriveled breast. All their evil is in Gilgal, where I hated them. For the evil of their deeds, I will banish them from my house. I will not continue to love them. All their officers are rebellious. Ephraim has been smitten. Their root is withered. They will not produce fruit. Even if they give birth, I will slay the treasures of their wombs. My Elohim will spurn them, for they have not obeyed him, and they will wander about among the nations. He going off on these people, bro. Chapter 10. Yasharal is like a vine that has shed the fruit that befits it. When his fruit was abundant, he increased altars. When his land was bountiful, they improved pillars. Their hearts had become detached from Elohim. Now they will become desolate. He will destroy their altars and will lay waste to their pillars. For now they will say, we have no king. For since we did not fear Yah, what can a king do for us? They have spoken words swearing falsely, sealing covenants, so their judgment will sprout up like hemlock on the furrows of the field. Because of the calves of Bethaven, the inhabitants of Samaria will be frightened, for its people will mourn over it, as well as its priests who used to rejoice over its glory, which has been exiled from it. It too will be brought to Assyria, a gift to the king of Jareb. Ephraim will take shame, and Yasharal will be ashamed for its counsel. Samaria's king has been silenced. He is like foam upon the water. And the high places of and the high places of Avon, the sin of Yasharal, will be destroyed. Thorn and thistle will sprout up on their altars. They will say to the mountains, cover us, and to the hills, fall upon us. Since the days of Gibeah you have sinned, O Yasharal. There they stood. The war against men of iniquity did not overtake them in Gibeah. By my will I afflicted them. Then the nations gathered against them when they bound them to plow 2 furrows. Ephraim is a trained calf who loves the thresh, and I passed over the goodliness of her neck. I joined Ephraim to plow with Judah, that Jacob should harrow. It's, I said, sow for yourselves righteousness, and you will reap according to kindness. Till for yourselves a tilling and set a time to seek Yah, until he comes and teaches you righteousness. But you have plowed wickedness, and you have reaped iniquity and eaten the fruit of denial. For you relied on your evil way, on your many mighty men. And there will arise a den among your people, and all your fortresses will be plundered, like Shalman plundered Betharbel on the day of war, when mother and children were torn asunder. So has Bethel done to you because of your greatest evil. At dawn, the king of Yasharal will be utterly silenced. Chapter 11. When Yasharal was a lad, I loved him, and since Egypt I have been calling out to my son. As much as they called to them, so did they turn away from them. They sacrificed to the Baalim and burnt incense to the idols. I sent a leader to Ephraim, who took them upon his arms, and did not know that I healed them. With the cords of man I drew them, with bonds of love, and I acted toward them like farmers who raised the yoke from upon their animals' jaws, and I provided food for them. He will not return to the land of Egypt, but now Assyria is his king, for they refuse to repent. The sword will alight upon his cities, and it will destroy and devour his villages because of their own designs. And yet my people waver about returning to me, and though they call them to the Supreme One, they are together and not exalting him. How can I hand you over, Ephraim, or deliver you, Yasharal? How can I render you like Admah, or make you like Zeboim? My heart has been overturned. My mercies have been kindled together. I will not carry out my burning wrath. I will not recant and destroy Ephraim. For I am Elohim, and not a man. The Holy One is in your midst, and I will not enter a city. They will follow after Yah like a lion. He will roar. For he will roar and his children will stir from the west. They will stir like a bird from Egypt, and like a dove from the land of Assyria, and I will settle them in their homes. The word of Yah. Chapter 12. Ephraim has surrounded me with falsehood, and the house of Yasharal with deceit. But Judah still ruled with Elohim and was faithful with the Holy One. Ephraim braces the wind and pursues the east wind. All day he increases falsehood and plunder. They seal a covenant with Assyria, and oil is transported to Egypt. Yahweh has a contention with Judah to visit upon Jacob according to his evil ways. He will requite him in accordance with his deeds. In the womb he seized his brother's heel, and with his strength he struggled with an angel of Elohim. Where am I? He struggled with an angel and prevailed. The angel wept and beseeched him. In Bethel he will find us, and there he will speak with us. Yah is the Elohim of legions. Yah is his remembrance. And as for you, return by your Elohim. Observe kindness and justice, and always hope to your Elohim. But you are instead a traitor with scales of deceit in his hand, who loves to cheat. Ephraim said, indeed I have become rich. I have found power for myself. For in all my toil will not find for me any iniquity, which contains sin. I am Yah your Elohim, since the land of Egypt. I will yet settle you in tents, as in the days of early times. I spoke with the prophets and provided numerous visions, and through the prophets I conveyed allegories. If Gilead suffered destruction, they were but vanity. In Gilgal they slaughtered oxen. Indeed, their altars are like heaps upon the furrows of the field. Jacob fled to the field of Aram. Yasharal worked for a wife, and for a wife he guarded sheep. And by a prophet Yah brought Yasharal up from Egypt, and through a prophet they were safeguarded. Ephraim has angered Elohim bitterly, and his blood guilt will be spread upon him, and his Lord will repay him for his scorn. Chapter 13. When Ephraim spoke, there was trembling. He was exalted in Yasharal, but he became guilty through Baal, and he died. Now they continue to sin, and they have made for themselves a molten image for their silver according to their design. Idols, wholly the work of craftsmen. The priests say to them, those who slaughter man shall kiss the calves. Therefore they shall become like the morning cloud, like the early dew that departs, like chaff that is blown from the threshing floor, and like smoke from a skylight. I am Yah your Elohim since the land of Egypt, and you should not have known any God besides me, for there is no Savior but me. I knew you in the wilderness, in a parched land. With their pasture they became sated. They were sated, and their hearts grew hardy. Therefore they forgot me. I will be like a lion to them. Like a leopard I will lurk on the road. I will encounter them like a bereaved bear and rip open the enclosure of their heart. I will devour them there like a lion. The beasts of the field will split them open. You have destroyed yourself, Yasharal, for you rebelled against me, your help. I will be, but where is your king, that he may save you in all your cities, and your judges, of whom you said, give me a king and officers? I gave you a king in my anger, and I will take him away in my fury. Ephraim's iniquity is bound up, his sin is hidden away. The pangs of childbirth will come upon him. He is an unwise child, for he should not stay long at the children's birth stool. From the clutches of the grave I would have ransomed them. I would have redeemed them from death. But now I will be your words of death. I will be the one who decrees the grave upon you. Remorse will be hidden from my eyes. For though he flourishes among the marshes, an east wind will come, a wind of Yah ascending from the wilderness, and his fountainhead will become parched, and his spring will dry up, and it will plunder the treasure of every splendid article. Samaria will be laid waste, for she has rebelled against the Elohim. They will fall by the sword. Their infants will be dashed, and their pregnant women split open. Shalom, dear. We're in 14, verse 2 now. Return, Yasharal, to Yahweh your Elohim, for you have stumbled in your iniquity. Take words with you and return to Yahweh. Say to him, may you forgive all iniquity and accept good intentions, and let our lips substitute for bulls. Assyria will not save us. We will not ride upon horses, and we will no longer say, O our gods, to the work of our hands. For it is with you that an orphan finds mercy. I will rectify their waywardness. I will love them gratuitously, for my anger has turned away from them. I will be to Yasharal like the dew, and he will blossom like a rose bush, and his roots will strike out like the cedars of Lebanon. His tender branches will go forth, and his glory will be like that of the olive tree, and his fragrance like that of Lebanon. Those who dwell in his shade will return. They will revive like grain and blossom like a vine. Their repute will be like the wine of Lebanon. Ephraim will say, what more need have I of idols? I will respond and I will gaze upon them. I am like an evergreen cypress tree. Your fruit will be provided from me. Who is wise and will understand these things? Who is understanding and will know them? For the ways of Yah are straight. The righteous will walk in them, and sinners will stumble over them. That was all of that was all of Hosea, y'all. And it just irks me when I see like over and over again, like it took so much for them to turn back. Like people don't want to worship or follow the Most High until they're until they until they have no other choice, basically. So like I'm just asking when I see that sometimes I'm just like, is it even real? Like, why do you forget them when you're doing good, but then once you treat them like a genie, like what's it called? Basically treating them like a fire extinguisher. You just sitting in the glass all the time and don't get no attention until a fire breaks out, and then you want to break it, and then that's the only time. And it shouldn't even be like that, man. Well, sometimes that's what it takes, though, for a lot of us. I mean, should in every situation he should be, you know, our source of life. Like every sip of water, every morsel of food we eat, every breath we take should be giving thanks to the Most High. Because we could be in a situation we had no water today, we had no food today, we had no breath today, we didn't even wake up today. You know, any good thing we should be thanking Him. Shouldn't just be turning to Him when things are bad, even though that's who we should rely on in our times of distress and not our own power. But also, you gotta remember, don't let don't let your blessings block you from this damn train. This train is Hashatan right now. But yeah, um, yeah, we shouldn't let our blessings or our favor to cause us to become proud or forget Him, like the people in the book did, and become hardy and be like thinking that we did it ourselves when every good thing is from Him. So yeah, y'all make sure y'all every morning, man, every morning, give Him some praise. Every night, give Him some praise. Bare minimum once, give Him bare minimum once a day. But I mean, really should aim for that three times, 3 to 7 times, as much as you want. Constantly thank Him throughout the day for everything. Constantly asking His will with everything, every decision that's going on. He said that's the horn he wanted for his truck. Hey, I'm gonna get a big old shofar on my truck. But yeah, y'all. So remember to remember, basically. Ain't gonna lie though, I'm mad tired. I've been I've been going to sleep at my usual time lately. Chamomile be knocking me out. Gave me a left hook. But yeah, y'all. We can continue tomorrow night. We can hop through Joel, Amos, Obadiah. We can probably what's this? We can probably hit Joel through Obadiah tomorrow. Maybe more. Or through Jonah. Oh, then we got the Psalms. Oh wait, no, I'm tripping. We got a couple more prophets before we get the Psalms. But yeah, y'all, let's continue tomorrow. Hey, man. All right. Shalom. Y'all stay safe. Most High bless you. And make sure y'all, make sure y'all seek His counsel with everything, before everything, every word, every decision, every question. Just make sure you're keeping Him in mind and what He would tell you to do, or what He would say, if whatever you'd ask. Make sure you're, getting that deep prayer. Seek His face. And yeah, y'all, seek perfection. Y'all have a good night.